Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video it's time to redo my slide out kitchen. I had a kitchen that I built 3 years ago that I really thought was the best idea I could ever come up with, and then as time goes on and you realize what you really need and how you really use your gear, it was time for a change. So in this video I'm going to show you a few things, what I started with, how I decided to change, and I went with the 500-pound drawer slides, how I installed them, how well they work, and how legitimately strong they are. I must admit I was very apprehensive about exactly how durable and how strong they really are, especially putting a lot of weight on them. This is a 60-pound Traeger Ranger smoker, and I have a bunch of other things that are going on here. So in this video we're going to fire up the Traeger, show you how I installed it, and how I'm going to use it, and all the gear that I'll be putting on this slide out, and give you kind of my take on why simplicity is sometimes much better than over-engineering a slide out overlanding kitchen. So let's get into the video, and I'll show you first of all what I started with and why I've changed it. So originally my biggest priority was using as much space underneath the bed of the trailer as possible. I had a cabinet, I had a pull-out drawer that I could access from inside the trailer as well. I thought that was very important, and it was handy, but it turned out not to be as good as I thought it would be. The original design had a sink that I could hook up to my water port on the back of the bumper of Eddie and have running water in the sink. But again, that was something I found I didn't use as much as I thought I would. And the problem with the build was that it was very heavy. I used 3/4 inch plywood, and once it was done, it turned out to be a lot heavier than I anticipated. One of my solutions was to have a sliding wheel that would adjust the height up and down once the slide out came out. But after using it over the years, you just realize you don't want to do any more unnecessary steps than you really want to. So these are 60-inch drawer slides, the longest you can buy as far as I know. Some of the benefits of it comes out quite a bit, but not as far as my old kitchen. They obviously are strong. You can see me standing on it, and I do believe the 500-pound capacity is legit. But I mean, I wouldn't call it a diving board, but it does have some flex and it does have a little bit of move to it. It's not completely locked out, but I don't think that's going to affect using it as a kitchen and some other things I would do on it normally, like a work prep station, that sort of thing. So as far as the build goes, the drawer slides, as you can see, I used 2-inch angle aluminum to install it onto the floor of the trailer, and then I used that same 2-inch aluminum on the inside of the drawers so that this piece of 3/4 inch plywood sits on that aluminum, and then I've got it screwed in from underneath and used bolts to attach the aluminum to the rails. You can see I used a small piece of scrap plywood to elevate the L channel that will be holding up the plywood so it doesn't rub against the floor when sliding out. So I just tacked them in with a few screws into the floor to get the measurement. We're looking at 31 inches across from angle bracket to angle bracket. So a piece of plywood is going to be 31 inches by 5. Might leave it a little bit longer to build a wall in the back. And to finish off the front, I just used some more of that 2-inch angled aluminum with a little strip of aluminum on there to pinch the rubber diamond plate in place. I originally tried to adhere some thinner diamond plate that I got to the plywood, and it had a really nasty reaction. Didn't want to play around with that again, so I went out and bought the thicker one, and it's literally just lying on here, pinched with the front and kind of loose up here. So another reason why I'm redoing the kitchen, especially with the smoker, is the smoker obviously is going to be running for long periods of time, 3 hours, I mean maybe even up to 8 hours depending on what I'm doing with it. So I need to leave this open. The old kitchen that I had, this was not an airtight seal, and I never felt comfortable leaving it open for long periods of time, getting critters to access it, right? So now my plan is to have a piece of plywood here, and when this closes it should have a nice tight seal on here, so it will be almost perfectly sealed, so I don't have to worry about anything getting into there, including the elements. So I'll be able to leave the smoker running for hours and not have to worry about it. Another new piece of gear that was part of the decision to redo it is adding a second fridge freezer to Eddie. After doing long extended trips, it became clear that I needed more freezer space, and this was the perfect location to put a second fridge.
So to summarize, the biggest advantage of having this new setup for me is the flexibility of bringing what I want in different things. Having the new smoker, I absolutely love it, super excited to be using it. I got a smoker for my backyard last year and I've been just obsessed with this, so I'm really excited to use this on some camping trips. Now that I have it, I needed electricity, so I had to install an outlet on the back of Eddie, a GFI box that I've been meaning to do for years, so I have that done now. And the rest of it now is really going to be for storage. For example, these things here are things that I previously stored inside Eddie that took up valuable space in there when it could have been used for other things. This is a wire mat that I used at the base of the stairs. It's fantastic. I take it on every trip. You've seen me use this table a million times. I've been using this ever since I started, and I have this folding kind of cabinet that I use now. And it's all things that over the years you kind of just pick up different pieces of gear, but it's got to go somewhere. So previously it's been inside, taking a precious space, and now it can be out here, slide it out, set it up, and use the flat space of the platform here for other things. I'm considering getting a Blackstone griddle. I'd love to hear your comments if anybody has had one. How do you think it'll fit with this setup? I think it should be good. The height of it, I think I can still stack this stuff up here and still get it on here, but it'll be all about a matter of space and what I can fit on here. I have a stainless steel table that was supposed to be here where I made this video that the smoker could go on. So you'll have to see in the future when I actually get this out on its first trip how everything works out. But I wanted to make a quick video just to show you the flexibility and kind of where I started and where I am now. And it's kind of like the addition by subtraction. Simplify things. I find it so much more efficient this way and much more practical. I was so excited years ago to build that kitchen, but I look back at it now and I never would have done it if I could go over and go back and do it again. So I also want your thoughts too. This is going to be a piece of wood. It's going to be like a wall that shuts this off, and I was thinking of putting a shelf or utilizing something on it, a little spice drawer or something. I'm not sure. If you got any ideas, I'd love to hear them. And if you have any other ideas on what I could put on here or utilize it for, I'd love to hear that too. Leave a comment below when you're watching the video. The smoker heats up pretty good. I've had it running now on the rubber mat. When it's at 450, it gets hot, so more than likely the Traeger will be on the stainless steel table that, again, I don't have, but you'll see it in the next video. Yeah, so if you're wondering if the rubber is going to hold the heat, we'll find out, but basically the plan is for it to be on the stainless steel table. And part of evolving and getting rid of the old kitchen setup is I didn't need the water port anymore. I really didn't use it, even though it's a really good piece of kit. I just didn't use it. So I've swapped out my old PVC stabilizer pipe that I used on my canoe project, and it's a perfect rod holder storage, 7 feet long, and it's wide enough. The whole reason why I built it was to fit the reels of my float rods. So that now has taken the place of the water port, and just the constant kind of evolving of the trailer and what works and what doesn't work. I get more excited every time I do another kind of addition to it or subtraction from it. That's going to wrap up the video. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe. Love to see you on the channel, and really excited now that my wife has had successful surgery probably by the time you watch this video, and really excited to get things back on track and get back to normal and get out there in nature. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.